What's going on, my brothers? It's your boy King E, back again with another banger, or I would like to call another word from the Holy Spirit officially. You know, since this is a godly driven channel now, it's not a semen retention channel no more. But, you know, semen retention is an amazing practice, is an amazing tool. But honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on like 30 days. I've already spoke to you guys about that. But yeah, I would like to update you guys on my life. And God has been moving in my life. God has been blessing me in certain ways. And when I say blessings, I don't mean with material things. I mean just internally, like peace and self-awareness. And, you know, I'm starting to know myself a bit more. And that's ultimately what you actually want. So that's a beautiful thing. And I honestly, a life driven by porn addiction is not something you can attain. You can't attain peace with that. You know, yeah, porn addiction feels like, yeah, pornography, it feels good. Lust is a very powerful emotion. And if you can't control that, which we can't by ourselves, you know, obviously you need help. You need a supernatural force to help you with that, you know. Not saying that God is going to completely take away your free will. We still have free will to choose right or wrong. But when you have a supernatural force, when you have Jesus Christ helping you in that walk of purity, you know, which is what we actually want, because pornography does not bring you peace. It doesn't. You know, a life driven by pornography addiction is not a good life, man. And those 10 seconds or I don't know, however long you guys take, 10 seconds of pleasure, or I'll say like an hour of pleasure watching all those videos, man, it will leave you feeling drained and empty after. So I'm 100% completely against pornography. Pornography is not good. It can take you into very dark areas in your life. So yeah, I'm 100% against pornography. But this idea of, you know, obsessing about over a semen retention streak, I think that's another problem. But you know, I've spoken enough about that. I'm slowly but surely, with God's help, overcoming this addiction. Thank God. And that's what I mean by He's been blessing me. He's been blessing me. I have a beautiful job now, a very content job. Doesn't pay very much. I remember when I used to make videos about becoming rich and becoming successful, you know, becoming financially free, which, you know, I just regret that whole arc of the channel, my beginning arc. Like, yeah, I was grateful to be unemployed, but now I'm grateful to be employed. I've spent all the time I needed to with myself. I took a break from working, which was a much needed break. But really, that unemployment was so I can connect to God more, so I can be more intimate with Him, you know, because sometimes a hectic job at that, can get in the way of that, you know, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, I have a content job. You know, I'm having peace in my life, having more awareness of myself and what I actually want. And I think that's the message of this video, is to learn how to be content with your life. Learn how to be content with your life, because there's a lot of things that you have, especially me. There's a lot of things that I have that a lot of people do not have, and they wish they would have. Like, a lot of people don't even have the freedom to spend some alone time in the park, which I spend, or even create a video, because they don't have a phone. A lot of people don't have a job. A lot of people are homeless. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you're blessed, really. You are blessed. There's tons of blessings that people don't see. And if you're not content, if you don't learn to be content with your life, that's when all the issues come. You know? Yeah. But yeah, man. Sorry about that, man. I'm taking a little break, you know. Every time I choose this spot, every time I start recording, I hit the record button. That's when, you know, that's when everybody decides to come up. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, that's when the issues come. The issues come when, there's a lot of temptation, especially in New York City. New York City, you're around a lot of people who have more money than you and who have more of the things that you think that you want. That's where the problem comes. Like, at least for me, the problems came from wanting what I think I wanted, which is more money, more women, more status, And honestly, that's not, I learned, especially during these past couple of months of me being unemployed and me being more intimate with God, I learned that that's not what I actually want. What I actually want, what I actually needed to learn is how to be content with my life. That's the most important thing, and that's where the issues come when you see other people. Let's say you see somebody with a better car, a Ferrari, and he has a beautiful woman by his side, which that woman probably doesn't really love him. You know what I'm saying? He loses that Ferrari, he loses the money and the status, that woman is gone. But that's you get distracted. You get distracted by things that other people have that you feel like you need to have. When in reality, all you need to do is to surrender to God's will and do what's in front of you. Do what God has for you in your life. God brings you blessings in many ways, but not in ways that you think. He doesn't bring material blessings, because those are fake, and it's not gonna truly bless you. You can have the most beautiful female in the world, the most sexiest, the most voluptuous female, exotic female in the world, but if she doesn't bring you peace, why would you still be with her? You know what I'm saying? And I had to end it, with my ex, because I just felt like she wasn't gonna bring me peace. That's the most important thing. You want to have somebody that if you're gonna make a decision to commit to that person, ultimately that's the most important thing, is having peace in that relationship. And I felt like it just wasn't gonna be peaceful, so I had to end it. I did say that I was talking to her again in my last video, but I felt like the best thing to do was to end it. And I felt like that in the moment, but I'm just learning to be content with my life and my job. I'm 100% grateful for my job. I'm only getting paid like $36,000 a year, but I don't need more than that. When you don't have, this takes time. This takes time. This takes a lot of connecting to God, a lot of prayer time, a lot of alone time with God, a lot of intimate time with God. But, when you finally realize that you don't really need a lot, you don't need as much money as you think you do. If you feel like you need more because, you want to live in Florida, you want to live in a high-end apartment, you want to be able to take care of your kids and your family in a high-end, place. And, I don't know, that's the difference. I mean, it's not really needed, but because the most important thing, to taking care of family is, is love. Is love. That's the most important thing. But, I don't have a family, so I can't speak on that. But, a lot of people feel like they need more than what they actually need. And it's important to be content with life. There's so many blessings that I have. I'm speaking to myself too. So many blessings that I have, so many blessings that you have, that God has given you that a lot of people do not have. So learn how to be grateful with that. But also, it's very hard to do. I understand that it is a very hard to do. It's a very hard thing to do. So much temptation, so much distractions, so many people around you flaunting what they think is the prize, the prize of life. The prize of life doesn't come in material possessions. It comes in peace. It comes in, it's internal. It comes with peace. It comes with knowing who you are. It comes with having a relationship with God. All these things are better and are known, your purpose in life, having peace, things like that, that's known with God. That's known by spending time with God. And that's why I say spending time with God is the most important thing. That should be your number one priority in life, is spending time with the Lord. That is your number one priority. That comes before everything. That comes before your job, your work. That comes before your family, before your kids, before your mother. everything, bro. I don't care what it is. It comes before everything. That should be your number one priority in life. You know, make sure that everything that you have as well, you know, things that you have doesn't take time away from that too. You know, I recently bought me a PS5. You know, I love video games. I've always loved video games my whole life. Bought me a PS5 Pro, and I'm learning how to balance it, you know, because I used to, the reason why I didn't have a video game console was because I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know how to balance it. You know, I would sometimes get stuck playing like 10 hours a day without even eating, without even brushing my teeth. I'll just get up and just turn on the game. That's not good. That's not a good way to live, you know. It's not a good way to live. And it's not fulfilling, you know. It's not fulfilling at all, and it just isn't healthy. It's not good for you. It just isn't. You know, you'll realize that. Have the things that you want. Same thing with pornography, man. Pornography just isn't good for you, because you can go to very dark areas. You can build weird fetishes from pornography. You start to feel like it's that vanilla video is not enough for you. You might want to go to an extreme video in order to get that dopamine. You understand what I'm saying? So, but like I said, when you have a supernatural force helping you in Jesus Christ, you know, that's when life gets better. That's when life gets better. I'm talking about in all areas of your life. But yeah, man, learn how to be content with your life. Don't let distractions pull you away from what's in front of you. You know, it's like you're moving forward, but then you see something over there, and then you get distracted while moving forward. You get distracted, and then you want to go over there. You want to go in that direction. No, God wants you to go in that direction. He wants you to go forward. But you see something that you think you want over there that somebody else has. And you start to think like, oh, how come he has that? How come I don't have that? You know what I'm saying? That's where the issues come. But when you learn how to be content with your life, surrender to God's will. This takes full surrender. That's the answer. That's truly the answer to life. This takes full surrender. And trusting in God, trust in the process. Keep moving forward. Focus on what's in front of you. Do what's right in front of you. And I promise you, life will get better. And life has been getting better. God has been blessing me in so many ways. I'm very incredibly grateful for my life, and I'm glad. You know, I'm just here updating you guys. You know, probably like once a week, once every 2 weeks. I always make a video. I'm always gonna make a video here, even if I don't get paid for it. I don't care about that no more. I don't care about becoming rich. I don't care about becoming financially free, which really is kind of a contradiction. Really, financial freedom comes from realizing that you don't need that much money. That's where it actually comes from. It doesn't come from having so much money. Nah, it doesn't come. It comes from realizing that you don't need that much money. You don't really need that much money. Not as much money as you think you need, and realizing that God is your provider. That's true financial freedom. But yeah, that's all I can say to you guys. So to whoever watches, you know, to the 10 people or 20 people who watch my videos, man, I'm forever grateful for you. But hopefully this helps. And yeah, man, stay blessed, stay safe. Until next time, peace.